Now listen, I want all of our friends and family to share this on Instagram and TikTok.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Jeff, Junior Hockey Advisor. It is Thursday night, not a normal night for us. Mike might be joining us in a little while. He is on a hockey trip right now, and so we hope to get him in a little bit. But I got a lot of fun stuff to play with tonight. Tonight's going to be kind of exploring a different side of what we do, and you might find it entertaining. You might find it a little disturbing. We're going to talk about some social media influence on our sport and some of the information's out there. And we're going to talk about one particular individual, and I'm going to introduce you to Bryce. And some of you might already know the story of Bryce. Some of you might not know the story of Bryce, but we're gonna jump into some social media stuff and chat about it and talk about the influence, the message. I'm gonna enjoy this. I hope you do too. Besides that, this is Junior Hockey Advisor. We do this at least once, if not twice a week. If you're new to us and you're not part of our discussion group, Junior Hockey Advisor on Facebook has a page and a discussion group. The discussion group's blowing up. We've got unbelievable conversation in there. This is driven by members talking to members for the most part. I rarely jump on, and usually I might nudge a little thing or keep things on the right track. But the collective power of the amount of information that's there from just parents, from players, from coaches, from advisors that are part of the group. Once again, over 10,000 strong on that group. The total Facebook group now, the groups are over 20,000. I think we're pushing 25 right now. It's just phenomenal to see the success that we're getting with the amount of people involved. And the family gets stronger. If you haven't jumped on and watched any of our videos before, jump over to YouTube, like and subscribe on YouTube to Junior Hockey Advisor. Enjoy it. We've got a lot of content there. And some of it's like tonight. Tonight, obviously, you got questions. Tell us who you are. Tell us where you're watching from. We'd love to know who's out there. But the questions might come. You might have comments and questions you want to throw out about our person of the night, the person we're going to talk about. Let's jump in. Let's talk about this. I want to introduce you to Bryce. I want to introduce you to Bryce. That's really what it boils down to. We're going to talk about him. We're going to watch a little bit of his videos, and we're going to see what he's about. And then we're going to talk about what your opinion is, what my opinion is, and just kind of chase it down and see what rabbit holes we follow on this. So let me throw Bryce up, and we'll get right into this. So let's see. Get up here, and okay, there's Bryce, and I'm going to get myself back up here. And I just got to find my little piece that gets me up here, which is right there. Okay, so this is Bryce's webpage, and you can see it's Bryce K Hockey, and this is coming right off his YouTube. Okay, Bryce is a young man. I don't know what he is. I did look up his elite prospect. So Bryce is a 2005, so he's 18 years old. Now, a lot of times we feature players that are on the top of their game, and they're peak players. And we talk about what's going on in the USHL, the NAL, the BCHL, and we talk about players that are D1 bound, D3 bound. This is gonna be a little different, okay? And so let's just get into it. This is Bryce, and this is his intro off his page here. Now we're just gonna play a little bit of it, and I'm gonna comment on. I'm gonna stop it at a few places, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bryce.
But hey, if I'm not playing as much, if I'm here to just work hard and learn and develop as a hockey player, this could be my trial. This could be my trial season, like my test season. Yeah, I'm going to get better, but it only takes one. It takes one step at a time.
That's Gil Puncheron.
So I'll give you a little background on this before we jump into Bryce is a player that comes from single A hockey. He last year had a little bit of taste of junior hockey, and this year he's playing for Hershey, and he's playing inside the USPHL Premier, I believe Hershey is. And we'll go back over here and just make sure I'm giving you the correct information off his elite prospects. So he's playing for the Hershey Cubs, USPHL Premier. 05, 18 years old, and this is his first experience. But if you look at his stats, let me see if I can blow those up a little bit for you here. And this is not a knock on Bryce, because honestly, I enjoy the hell out of Bryce, and I'm finding this to be, he does a good job of producing what he does. Let's just put it that way. The production value and his ability to understand how to do social media is pretty darn good. It's really good. But you can see here, he's played a little AA, he's played a little A. He got up to the EHL Premier last year, got 10 games in, and this year he's at the USPHL Premier. So that gives you a little background. So now we're going to get back over here and throw Bryce up and show you a little bit. I'm going to run 3 different clips and we'll chat about it. And to keep this legal, I'm going to continue to comment from time to time so we don't get pulled down from the YouTube or Facebook gods.
That puck over to Ben Maher then, and Maher throws that puck in the zone. The Rockets got to go chase it. We'll pitch it along the boards here. Now the Rockets trying to get out of their zone there. And now we get a penalty call, it looks like. And there it is.
So Bryce
it shows full sides of life.
Penalty called.
We got action here.
No, this is Bryce.
Period 3.
Going from the right of the
Krause.
to the left.
Bryce Krause tries to play that one. Bryce Krause tries to play that one off the boards. Bryce K.
Okay, so right away, I just want to point out, you can tell by that play right away that Bryce is not used to a higher level of hockey, and you could argue that the USPHL Premier is a high level of hockey or not. That's subjective to where you're coming from hockey. But jumping from A to this, he's panicking. The plays that I'm going to show you, he panics, he throws the puck away a lot, and he only gets a couple of shifts a game. But let's just keep watching a little bit.
It's quite the following on TikTok. Now the loop board back ensues.
Okay, I don't know if you picked that up. This is the announcer. This is the team's official home announcer, game play-by-play. And he says, quite the following on TikTok, talking about Brian. And then he chuckles. Okay. Bryce is clearly, he sat out the first 2 games of the year. This is the 3rd game of the year, and he finally gets in for a couple shifts. So that chuckle kind of sets it up a little bit more. And I wanted to listen to the announcer. And then, that kind of hit me wrong. It kind of hit me like, why is the announcer chuckling when he talks about this kid? Clearly the kid brings value to this team in many ways, and we'll talk about that in a second. But let's watch a little more.
Now the Cubs will chip that one out.
Him on
We'll
the
go all the way
left side
down, and it does go on net. No icing.
He's in front of the net right now.
Gabriel Leduc does get credit for the 2nd Cubs goal. Assisted by Nicholas Zane and Marco Taffo. Chance! What a chance, though! Chance! What a chance, though, for the Rockets. A backdoor opportunity, but it wouldn't go. Now here come the Cubs. They're off to the races. Oh, my goodness. Bryce Krause had a chance.
Once again, that bothers me. Okay, you're calling the game. Bryce Krause, if it was any other player, does he chuckle? Does he laugh at him? I don't like that. I mean, as a coach, as a parent, as a player, as Bryce, I don't know if that's fair to him. Now, I have my opinion on this. I want you to see more of this because there's some production value to this, and it gets better. I'm going to take you to 458 on this, or excuse me, 458 first.
He is quite the icon here in the New Jersey area for multiple reasons. He's got quite the following on TikTok, like I mentioned earlier.
So he brings up the TikTok again, which I thought was pretty interesting. This team knows he's a TikTok guy. He's a YouTuber. He's a content creator, and in my opinion, that's why he's on this team. Bryce mentions it in one of his videos somewhere that that might have something to do with it too. And I can't remember which one because I watched a lot of his videos over the last few days. Now, okay, it's a business. You bring a kid like Bryce onto your team, sometimes you bring a kid in that's a local because he'll bring in local people to watch games. There's plenty of teams in different markets, college, pro, and juniors that'll bring a local player in to try to get some local interest. The TV stations love it when there's a local kid playing. It doesn't matter if they're playing in Dallas for the Brahmas, doesn't matter if they're playing for the Johnstown, the Tomahawks, when they have a local guy. They make a big deal out of it. So that there's always something that it's a give and take sometimes. Maybe the player is not the best player, but it gets him on the team, gets some local exposure for the team, and it's a win-win for both. I just don't like the fact that he gets chuckled at. That really kind of bothers me. If he's supplying something to this team by getting them, thousands, if not tens of thousands of views, and exposing people to Hershey and getting more people in the stands, and it's clear in some of his videos that when he walks into a rink, I mean, there's times where coaches bring him into the locker room to talk to his players. He's got that on there where he comes in and gives pregame talks. Okay, you're going to meet Bryce in a second, and you're going to see that that's a stretch for a kid this age and at this level of maturity, but he's handling it fairly well. So what are your thoughts on this? I'd love to see, what you guys think on this, where you're at on this. I want to show you a little more. Let's jump over here to, here's Bryce.
Excited for training camp. This is day 1, so make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it. All right, boys, got to get a good stretch in before we start. It's always good to stretch your muscles out, especially we had a good training camp a few days, but it's always good to loosen up muscles for recovery especially. So just get the calves going.
Bryce, get a routine. Putting your leg up on the side of the boards and not stretching before the game, buddy.
A little nervous, but I'm excited for training camp and practice, boys, so wish me the best of luck. I'm going to put the GoPro on too. We got to practice. I'm going to film the boys first, so we got 2 skill sessions right now. Let's get into it, and hope you guys enjoy.
Yo, what's up, Roofy?
What's going on?
Let's go. We played in the same team last year. How you feeling about this season?
I'm feeling hype.
Yeah, same here.
Good.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll see you soon.
Sir.
Okay, let's go. Pre-practice right now.
Okay, I just wanted to show you, he does interact with his team well. He's a motivated kid. He's very positive around this group. And he's interesting. I don't think that Bryce is going to win a Nobel Prize for rocket science or for any kind of chemistry, but it's effective. What he's doing is effective. What he's actually turned this into is pretty big. He's got a following, and when he walks into a rink and you watch these videos, I usually don't promote anybody else's videos. I don't promote other sites because this is competitive. We are out there. But I thought this was interesting, and I'd like to know if you think that, what your thoughts on this, because I'm looking at this saying, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with a player that is not junior ready. I mean, by no means is he junior ready. Okay, 2 shifts a game. If I were a coach, I would have, my only risk of putting him on the ice, he seems like a pretty thick, solid kid, would still just be, not understanding where the flow is and where the angles are and getting hurt. Besides that, though, he's motivated. He's working. He's trying. There's a lot of things that he's doing, and I like that about him. Do you think he's getting taken advantage of here? Is this what's going on? Is he's getting taken advantage of, or is he maximizing and capitalizing on the situation? You let me know. I would really like to know what your thoughts are on that, and chat a little bit about that. Bryce, I was entertained enough where I probably spent over the last 2 days, 2 or 3 hours watching Bryce clips. And I think that there's some pretty cool stuff that he's doing with this. I want to point out something here. I'm going to pull up a little bit more. I'm going to show you one more little clip here. And this starts at 11:03. So let me pull up 11:03 here. We'll do one more little Bryce, and then we'll chat, and we'll move on to other things. Okay. So all right. So this is him wrapping up things. So I'll start it right about here, and let me get it back up over here. All right. So this is Bryce, and he's wrapping up he's summarizing everything that happened for the day.
So yeah, guys, wasn't really the greatest debut. It wasn't the greatest playing from me. But I'll tell you what, our team was down 2-0, and then we came back late in the game to tie it, and then take the lead, and then we won. Let's go. But unfortunately, guys, as you know, I made a lot of mistakes. You know, I got a lot of errors to correct. I was looking at the videos and like studying how I need to play better and what I need to work on. So I will work on it. I just need to get better, and we'll see how things go in the future. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. I hope you guys understand how I'm coping and dealing with this start of the season. But it's not a big deal. I'm gonna learn. I'm getting better day by day. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure to comment, subscribe. Bryce K. Peace out.
All right, so there are a couple things there. One is, you know, what if this is your kid? What would you think if this was your kid? Is this something that part of me, my heart breaks? You know, I'm looking at this saying, yeah, this kid's putting his heart out there and he's doing everything he can. And, you know, oh, man, I mean, it's rough because, you know, as a coach, I'm looking at this and going, okay, I see where he fits and I know where he fits. It's a long road ahead of this kid, a long, long road. He's pretty motivated, but you could also see the passion in this kid and how much he was hurting from not playing the last couple of games. I mean, it's right out there on his sleeve. He's not hiding anything. You know, could I do that and express my inner feelings, my emotions, and literally put myself out there for the kind of a scrutiny that, you know, tens of thousands of people are going to give this kid? There's no way in hell I could do that. So I give the kid big props for doing what he's doing. He is exposing a part of junior hockey that doesn't get exposed much and doesn't get talked about much, which is the part of junior hockey that's, hey, not everybody's a star and not everybody gets a chance to play big time hockey. And he's clinging on to his life there. I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed across the board. What I'm doing right now is I'm just checking to see if there's any comments coming in. And I think we got some here. I'm just going to check them and read them to you. If I can pull them up. If I can't pull them up, I'm not going to read them to you. So I can see that there's some there. I can't get to them from where I'm at right now. And usually this is where I use Bloomer to fill some time where I'm looking up at all the people talking. So once again, if you got chats to talk about, you want to put your comments in on what we're talking about tonight, which is Bryce K. I thank you, Bryce, for putting those out there. Thank you for letting us watch a little bit of this. That was it was entertaining. And if you watch a little bit more of his stuff, you'll find it entertaining. Is he getting taken advantage of? Okay. Is he getting taken advantage of to the point where it's not fair? Or is he taking advantage of the situation? Is he the winner in this because he's playing at a level higher than he normally would play at? I can tell you, he's got a lot of benefits when you watch his videos. Stick companies send him free sticks. He gets free blades. He had a brand new pair of gloves on. So just like a lot of content creators, he gets a lot of things to try out and use. So he's not hurting for sticks. He's not hurting for blades. And I don't know what the deal is with Hershey. I didn't want to get involved with that. Maybe he's got a sweetheart deal there too, for a pay-to-play league where, they're using that media as a trade-off. I don't know. I hope so. I hope that Bryce gets everything he can out of the team because they're clearly getting a lot of exposure out of this too. That's my thoughts on this. I truly would love to see what you guys think and what you hear. I see a couple comments coming in just saying, hey, I like the content and good for the kid and things like that. So if you got questions about this or you've got any other comments on this, I struggle with wanting to know more. And when I watched this, one of the things I did was I just kept looking at it and going, tell me more about this. And he does. I mean, he lays it all out there, how many shifts he's getting, and he does a good job. The one thing I really love about it, he's a narrator, which is extraordinary for an 18-year-old. Maybe not so, because content creation, maybe they're better than us that have been in this for a very, very long time. But he strings you. He keeps his bang for the end of his piece. He builds a story, and the story takes you to the end where he exposes what he's talking about or what he wants you to see on the reveal. He might be getting help. There's obviously somebody that's filming him and going with him all the time when he's filming. In filming him, sometimes in practice he wears a GoPro on his helmet, but there's clearly a second person that's helping him do this. it's pretty cool. Any thoughts from you? I'd love to hear them. Bloomer says he's going to be here in 5 minutes. And was it worth it? Was it worth putting on our boy here, Bryce, and watching him a little bit? I kind of wish Bloomer had a chance to catch this, and maybe we'll just stop and pause and wait for Bloomer and watch more highlights. I'm surprised with the big of an audience we've got right now that we don't have any chats coming in and anybody at least expressing some opinion on this, unless they're getting clogged up somewhere that I can't see right now. Just a few of you have come in, but nothing that's significant or nobody that wants to pop on and talk about it. So that's fine. That's fine. I'm going to see if I'll check the other sources here just to make sure I'm not missing anything. And see if there's any other comments coming in from other places. And if there's any questions you got about anything, feel free to jump on and ask the questions that you got. There we go. There we go. Okay, so here's some. It says, great to focus on this perspective a bit. Thanks, Richard, for saying that. What should someone do in this situation? Should he go to a lower level or do more private lessons? Well, that's really interesting because he does a lot of private lessons. You can see him in his videos. He shows you what he's working on. You could argue if the level of play that he's at and the level of instruction he's getting is about the same. And I don't know the gentleman that's giving him lessons, but they're focusing on things that, after doing thousands of private lessons over my career. And when I say that, I literally mean that. I used to teach, 5 to 7 a day, every day, Monday through Friday. And it adds up and it just beats your body to death. But, you got to be an educator. You got to come in with a plan. You got to come in with something new, and you have to have focused goals on what you're going to do to improve a player. You can't go in there and say, hey, look, we're going to work around the pylons and you're going to carry around pylons and shoot. What are you trying? What's your objective? Is your objective to get, your edges better, your angles better? Is it better to get your shot off quicker, to change the angle of your shot? Is it better to get a player to keep his head up? What are you working on? So I've watched a lot of his video. I don't see that. So I'm not sure private lessons right now are going to incrementally push him up to the next level. But that's subjective. That's just one guy looking at this, giving you an opinion on what I think on that. What should he do? Here's the thing. If he's using this to build a following that could potentially grow and grow and grow, why not keep going? So, part of me says, have at it, Bryce. You're not hurting that team. You're not hurting yourself at this point. And if you're getting a couple shifts here and there and you don't get hurt, and you still work and you continue to, but there's also the side that's a little delusional. Hard work isn't going to make you a goal scorer. Hard work isn't going to change things if you don't see the game and you can't figure out how to play the game at a faster level. Everybody has a point where they, plateau. Even the greatest hockey players we've ever seen, the Lemieux, the Gretzky's, they all have that point. They don't always get better every single time they go out on the ice. There's a peak, and then it falls off and it crescendos from there. I don't know if he's peaking. I can't tell you how far he can go for improvement, but in 2 shifts that he showed us, there's so many things going on there that, I could literally spend a half an hour breaking down and critiquing just 2 shifts. There's that many problems already for, a trained eye, a coach, and some of you out there that coach, you can see it, stopping in front of the net on the, when the play is flowing, you can already read the wings. You come and lose all your momentum on the forecheck, on the penalty kill, instead of using that momentum to, close down a lane real quick. That could be coaching. I don't think so. Is back check, going really hard and looking good in front of your coach's bench and really working hard on the forecheck, but not doing anything and being ineffective when you actually get into the D zone. That's a problem that needs to be corrected. Using mohawk turns when you come up to hit somebody, to move around the body and hit somebody, that's dangerous. And it's also easy to push somebody off that's trying to play the body on you when you're in the middle of a mohawk turn. You can go on and on and on with little things like that you could critique. But, the one thing he did say is he said, hey, look, I'm working on this stuff and I watched my film. I saw what I have to work on. I don't think that he's the one that should be critiquing himself, though. I think he's got to have the coaches and outside third eye, third body watching. If it's the coach, the assistant coach, or somebody else in the organization, breaking down his practices and breaking down it because, I think at times he thinks he's as good as other players and he can produce like other players can. I don't see that. But I don't think he's hurting anything. If he's getting some kind of compensation out of this, if he's, living the dream, and a lot of junior players, they just want to live the dream of juniors. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing at all. So, all right, Bloomer's coming on. Let's get him on here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike Bloom.
Oh,
wow.
This might not be a good look.
Well, I didn't realize you were that chubby in the cheeks, man.
Yeah, from this angle, it looks bad.
I already told you, man. You never let the camera look up your nostrils. You
Wow.
gotta put your laptop up on a phone book or two.
I'm on my phone. That's the problem. I didn't bring my laptop on this trip.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Have you caught anything we've been talking about tonight?
Not at all.
Okay, good. We'll just we'll move on. We've been talking about social media, and we've been talking about Bryce K, who's a YouTuber. He's a TikToker. He plays for Hershey in the USPHL Premier, and we showed a couple clips of Bryce, and then we talked about the situation of Bryce's 4 or 5 games in the season this year. Got 2 shifts, very popular on social media. I mean, he's got a huge following. Like I said, he can actually walk into locker rooms. Coaches call him in the locker rooms to talk to some of the younger players. He'll go in and give them pep talks. He's already got deals where he's getting free sticks, he's getting free blades, he's getting free gloves. And we were debating, who's taking advantage of who. Is Hershey getting the better deal and sucking everything out of a kid that they really don't play, that they're potentially charging full boat for, and getting tons of social media coverage on their team? Or is Bryce taking advantage of them by being able to build his business and build his brand off of being on this team? And we went through some of the things with Bryce and where he's at and how things are going. So that's about all you missed. And I was just grabbing some comments right now to see what other people are saying and what they're thinking out there. We just did Alexander and we did Richard. And I'm going to jump over and see if I can pick up any more comments off the other site. This is usually where you talk now, Mike, so I can.
Well, what's the consensus? Has there been any yet on who's taking advantage of who, or is it something where both are reaping the benefit from it?
I haven't seen any comments yet about who's winning this battle of being taken advantage of. So, and we've got a decent audience on tonight, and love to hear them. I'm not getting interactive chats up on our screen. I'm having to go back to each one of our individual sites and actually look at things to see where things are at. Why don't you tell everybody where you're at and what you're doing right now?
Yeah, I just was on the road. I don't know if anyone on here is from the Michigan area, but we are getting pelted with a ton of rain. And for whatever reason, I had to get on 3 different expressways driving from Port Huron to Wixom, Michigan. And of course, all of them are under construction, and the lines in the roads are so faint, and there's no lights, and it's pouring down rain. So it was kind of a fun drive, but it probably took about an extra 40 minutes than it probably should have. But I'm in Detroit for the weekend. I have both my 16s and my 18s here. We're playing in a CCM showcase or tournament this weekend. So thankfully, I'll be on the same side of the Detroit area, where one rink I'll be at is Farmington Hills, and the other rink will be Novi, which aren't too far apart. So I'm thankful for that.
That's a good close distance to work from.
Yeah. The only hard part, not for me personally, but for the kids, is we have an 8 a.m. game tomorrow, which with the time change, that's like us playing at 7 a.m. and all of our guys had to drive in tonight.
Oh, you had to drive all the way from Chicago.
It's 5 hours. That's enough after school and work and everything.
So you mean they drove in today and they get to go to bed and then they have to get up early like a school day? Like about the time they go to school?
Earlier.
Come on. High school kids get up at like 5:36 to get to their 7:30 class, Yeah,
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't think so. It's because you're a country club kid. You're one of those entitled, privileged, almost living in Grosse Pointe kids. So it's and now you live in Chicago.
We're from the same city, and you lived closer to Grosse Pointe than I did in St.
But I live
Shores.
south towards the hood. Okay,
Please,
I was towards
please.
the Roseville, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that,
East
well, that
Detroit.
is true.
More East Detroit. I'm sorry, East Detroit, because they didn't call it East Detroit back in the day, or no, they
No,
did call it
did.
East
They
Detroit.
did.
And what
Yeah,
now? What do they call it?
East Point.
East Point. That's right. So now you sound like you're almost Grosse Point when you call it East Point. You know.
Exactly.
All right, listen. I do got comments now. I found them all. So people are popping on, and I got a lot. Max comes on. He says, "Awesome topic." Junie, haven't seen you in a while. Junie, good to see you. And says, "Hey, Jeff." And Frank comes on and says, "Best show on the internet." Thank you. We appreciate that.
I love it.
Max says, "Share it on Facebook, watching on YouTube." Awesome. Good to hear that. Richard says, "Great to focus on this perspective a bit." That's awesome to hear. Another comment was, "I love that he is documenting his journey. He'll be able to look back at this. That's really cool. It takes a lot of confidence to put yourself out there. Confidence or delusion? That's a good question too. And for those that come on late, because I know our audience has been growing as we've been going along, we'll throw a couple more Bryce clips up so you can kind of get an idea what Bryce is like. We already answered the question about what should they do? Should they do more lessons or move to a lower level team? I think he loves creating the content regardless of the level he plays at. There's a ton of beer leagues who create these types of videos. Fully agree to keep it up, Bryce. I think that's a great comment. Jim comes on and says, I'll come see you. I'm not sure what that was in reference to, but maybe I said I was going to be somewhere. I feel like the team maybe gets more out of the deal. Can't feel good not getting much playing time, and probably hard to make good content on himself. Yeah, but he's doing a good job. Alexander, I agree with your comments that maybe the team, I debate, but I do believe the team's getting something good out of this. If Jeff Colson is talking about it, he must be doing something right. I don't know about that, but that's an interesting comment. And thank you for jumping on that and giving us that perspective on that. So once again, I wanted to pop out a few of those comments. Let's throw Bryce on again, and let's give everybody a taste of Bryce. And we'll go back to Bryce at the beginning here, and we'll show you a little bit about Bryce. So let's get Bryce up. And once again, world, this is Bryce.
I finally got a chance to play. It wasn't what I expected to be, which I will break down later what exactly is happening with my season and what's going on. But just stay tuned, guys. Stay with me for a little bit. We're going to be reacting to my first game highlights. Hope you guys enjoy this video. It's going to be a great reaction video. Make sure you subscribe. Let's get into it. Oh, fuck. Well,
so that's Bryce in his
this weekend. No new milestones
458
yet.
is where his highlight starts. So this is interesting. This is Bryce. Let me and then Bryce gets into talking some more.
This is a bold
You can't
opportunity.
talk over
Prove
those
everybody
highlights.
wrong.
You
So
can't
aside
hear
the
you,
little
Jeff.
flyers.
Oh, okay.
Still, this is
So
where
I've
the
got
big jump is, guys. I'm
so
gonna
if I
admit now.
Bloomer, if I turn him off, do you hear me now?
Yeah, and when he's talking like he is now, you can hear you and you could hear me when we speak. But when he had
The
the
highlights?
highlight clip,
Okay.
it's too loud. You can't hear you.
Okay, I got it. Well, just to give you a sense, we didn't have to go into a lot of them. We can get back to the two of us because clearly, Bryce is not quite up to this level yet. Dude, he's got
he's
an
a
audience
kid.
like 10 times bigger than ours. he's getting free gear from all the big major players. And what are we doing? We're sitting here
Well, he
talking
knows
to each
what he's
other with our
doing.
thumbs up our rears, Because exactly. So when people say, "Hey, we must be doing something right," because I'm talking about him. Hell, I'm hoping Bryce talks about us and puts us on his videos because that would help us a hell of a lot more than what we're doing to help him. He's growing a great audience, but maybe he does pick up a few people. And God bless you. Go watch him because I think he deserves whatever he's getting out of this. So anyway, that's it. Mike, what are your thoughts on this overall? A player that's not really. He came from A hockey, and then he jumped up to the premier level.
Well, I mean, from that standpoint, I don't really care what level he plays at. I think he's a content creator. And the fact that he's doing it on junior hockey or really just hockey in general, I think is awesome. I think there's probably a huge audience of kids that, are either watching because they followed, some of the early stuff that he did and they just kind of got hooked to him. And I don't think they really care about where he exactly is playing or, any of like that angle. I don't think they necessarily care. They
Yep.
just want to hear him talk about, his
Well, it hurts you.
experience and break everything down and, just I've never seen the kid at all. The thing that you just played is the first time I saw it, and the fact that he was talking and like knocked his microphone and kind of made a joke out of it, like I kind of laughed at that. So you could see he's charismatic. He's
Yeah.
probably someone that a lot of people would want to follow, and he's talking hockey, so I think it's
Yeah.
great. I love it.
And it is true. Somebody put in the comments that there's especially one guy that's a goalie. There's another guy that's a forward that do men's league, like low level men's league, and they give you explosive titles like fight brawl at men's hockey game, and you turn it on, and it's two guys hitting each other with a purse a couple times, and like
Yeah.
they blow it all up. They show it from every angle, but they have fun with it, and yeah, that's cool that they do that. I think it's really cool that there's more exposure to that. There's other people out there that do day in the life junior stuff.
Yeah.
Some of it, the content's great. Some of it is average. Bryce situation's different. Some of those other guys are in the middle of the mix or one of the better players in the team. And in fact, I had a family that I know very well here in Rochester. The kid now is one of the sponsors. He's the face of a hockey company now. And he started out doing videos of kind of exploring his junior and his Division III career. Wasn't a great player. He was a fourth liner at best in college, barely got ice, but charismatic, funny, did really good videos. And now, he actually is the face for one of the secondary hockey companies that does dye sublimation jerseys and stuff. I forget the name of the company, but you'd know him. He's got long flowing curly hair, and he's a lot of fun to watch. So if you ever see him, he's a local kid. He started out in Webster hockey years ago, and I know the family real well, and it's kind of good to see him explode into what he's exploded into. Other comments coming in. I don't know if I talked about this one yet. Team gets massive media exposure on the world's fastest growing medium. The kid gets a Prius full of Hershey swag.
Prius?
Yeah. I think that's funny. Team wins this battle going away. Semper Fi, brother. Yeah, maybe you're right on this one. I love the comment. I can't see the name on this one, but I know who it's from. I'm imagining who it's from. I don't want to say it because if I'm wrong, I'd feel bad. Bloomer is right. It's the personality that attracts. Look where Biz and Trav sucks to have gotten to. Basically, they're comparing him to some of the Barstool stuff and all that.
Yep.
True Crew, yeah, that's one of them. Matt brings up True Crew, does a great job. Day of the Juniors, NA3HL. Yeah, so we've seen these for years. They're nothing new. This one just struck me. I thought it was worth talking about because you rarely see somebody that's made that big of a leap, that knows he's hanging on by his fingernails, and creates content around that position on the team. I'm not in the lineup. Let's talk about it. I got 2 shifts. Let's talk about it. And showing, pulling off the Band-Aid and showing the bad side of himself. And when I say the bad side, that's not right. The weaknesses of himself is probably a better way of saying it. And exposing the weaknesses and being okay with taking the shots. And he says that several times when he goes through his videos, and he does these fairly frequently. He says, I know I've got haters out there, and haters you're going to hit. He does the whole thing where he throws it out there so it can no longer be an issue. You're going to make fun of me because I only got 2 shifts. You're going to make fun of me because I'm out of the lineup, but I'm still here. And a lot of you haven't made it this far. And I think that's cool. I think that's cool that he can take it right on. He can attack it, take it off the table, negate it. It's no longer ammunition for the outside world if you say, this is who I am. And I think that's a cool part about this.
That's Papa Doc going against, or it's B Rabbit going against Papa Doc in the 8 Mile movie when they do the rap battle and Eminem takes all the ammo away.
Detroit reference. Yes. Yes. I like
That's
that.
right.
I like that. I wouldn't have gone there. Kudos.
That's because you're too old. You're too old. I'm young. I'm hip. I'm used to this type of stuff. Come on.
Well, you did tell me that you met Eminem before he was Eminem. And,
That's correct.
where he was working at a Pizza Hut? Is that what it was?
No, it was a Little Caesars on the
Little
corner
Caesars.
of where I lived, and then he would always come to our high school in the student parking lot and pass out his mixtape. And this was back in the cassette era, and he'd be handing those out and CDs and things like that. And then, lo and behold, like probably 5 or 6 years after that time period, he blew up and "Hi, My Name Is" came out and everything. So it was pretty cool to see.
That's awesome. Did he? Did you have to give him a jump start to his old blue shaggy car?
No, he was. I think he was probably like 8 or 9 years older than I was. So a couple of my friends had brothers that he had hung out with, and they used to rap with him, back in the day. So weird that somebody like that became as big as they are.
Okay, so a couple more comments, and we can call our quits here. Bloomer, your 18's got a shot at going to nationals? Question mark. Good question.
Yeah, I mean I don't like to put that on somebody, but we're pretty good. We're off to a little bit of a sleepy start, so we got to turn it up. So if I were to say right now, we're not there yet, but let's see where we're at by the end of the year.
Is there any truth? Is there any truth to the rumor that you've been sending people out to other rinks to watch teams and get their line combinations and their line shift changes and document any signals the coaches are giving from the bench? Is there any truth to that at all?
Zero truth to that.
Okay, just want to make sure. Just want to make sure. Another comment coming in. My son, Troy says, my son is his D-man. Matt, weird seeing Brody's camera guy walking around the rink. So that's pretty cool. The True Crew keeps coming back up again. Hoping to see you at the rink, or see you there. Bloomer, wink, wink. So Matt Maxfield saying hi and wants to see you at the rink. I'll leave that between the two of you with the wink, wink stuff. I don't judge.
Come on, wink back.
We are definitely open to anything and everything here, and everybody's welcome. We're a very inclusive show when it comes to anything. So, all right, Matt, not Matt, Boomer. No, hey, I don't like this when you come on late, man. I had to
You
do
got
my
real uncomfortable with the winking. So this might be saying something about you more than it is about me and our viewers.
Maybe I've got secrets. Maybe I've got secrets. I'm too old to wink, man. I wouldn't know what to do if somebody winked back, male or female. So, yeah, okay. Any questions before we take off and get out of here? Great show, fun. I had fun. I'm glad I got a chance to introduce you all to our boy, and so you guys could all get a chance to meet Bryce. I hope you go check out his YouTube or TikTok or whatever else he's on, because he's all over the place. He does show some shots from far away, when he's walking into a group of players and they're all like cheering from the other side of the rink and calling him out. And that, once again, the only thing that bothered me was the announcer chuckling every time he was on the ice and kind of doing some under the breath chuckles, and then making pointing out his flaws, like, oh no, Bryce, what are you doing, kind of thing. And that didn't sit well with me. But besides that, I'm okay with this. So, all right.
Yeah, there's another kid who does something like this with the Danbury 3HL team that I've seen maybe 2 or 3 of his videos, and he actually does a really nice job too. But it's really more of a day in the life where he's like behind the scenes and he's kind of showing everybody like what he goes through, and that's pretty cool because you get to kind of see, like, at least for that organization, like what it's like to play in the 3HL. And that might be helpful for kids that may not have ever considered the 3HL because
Yes.
they thought it was too low of a level,
Yeah.
and they kind of get to see the background of it. I have a kid that I used to coach that plays in the SB. He's semi-pro now, and he does something like that too, where he kind of follows his journey of a day and whatnot. And I thought that was pretty cool because I don't have a whole lot of experience watching or following the SB at all. and just to kind of see what that level of pro is like was pretty cool. So he still does it. He still plays. And again, I just like when they have more hockey content like this because
Yeah,
there's
it's
only
good.
so much NHL stuff you can get.
Yeah.
And, the rest of the stuff is never really all that great, but there is content out there. So people who do a good job on it, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's great. Just hitting some comments that came up earlier, and this came off our discussion group as far as anybody that's got anything that's out there they want to still, ask a question of. We've got a second here. You can throw a question out. You got the expert on now. When you wear your hat backwards, when you're close to 50 years old, you have to be an expert. You have to be an expert.
I'm not close
You,
to 50.
you're real close to 50. Don't
Actually,
lie to us, Paul.
my birthday is less than 10 days from now, and I will be turning 42. So,
Okay. Compared to Bryce, you're really close to 50.
but compared to you, I'm further into the young. I'm closer to Bryce than I am to you.
You think that. You have no proof.
I'm just going off
I guess
looks.
I guess it's
You
on
don't look a day under 75.
uh I I don't even know where to go with that because it's you're right. The white hair kicking in and then the receding hairline in the last couple of years, back when I was like I had that chiselly brown black beard, that was different. But now that it's pure white,
Yeah.
man, oh man, that throws the age on real quick. And I'm just too lazy to shave it. I just, yeah, I kind of like it at this little bit of. I don't like it when it gets that fluffy Santa beard. But right about now,
Well, you and I have only been, friends with each other for about 3 years now, and I think I've given you all the gray hairs, which I'm proud of.
absolutely, I gained 60 pounds when I met you. My stress level, my hairline used to be right about here with my eyebrows, and since I met you, now it's up in here. And if I turn the lights on, it looks like it's back to there. So yeah, that's all you, man. That's all you. But I noticed
Hey,
that
before we leave, I got to give a shout out to one of my boys from back home who today is his birthday and he's listening and following our show right now. So happy birthday, Jim Caleb. Jimbo Champ Dog was his name that we gave him in college. So
Champ
Jimbo,
Dog,
happy
happy
birthday.
birthday, Champ Dog. Why,
Jimbo Champ Dog. Give
Jimbo
him the
Champ
full
Dog?
recognition.
Why in the world did you hang around with this guy? Unless he was just the guy that you kind of like, where's my baseball? I lost my baseball. Okay, it's behind your ear. No, don't touch his ears. Okay, if that's the way you handle Bloomer, God bless you. You did you did society some good by keeping him company. But if that wasn't the case, I got some real issues with you there. Happy birthday. All right, no more questions coming in. It looks like Matt had the last say with his Northern Michigan team might be playing Bloomer's team. Uh, we'll wait and see how that
Really?
goes.
Nice.
Yeah, so Northern Michigan against the Chicago team. I take Northern Michigan. Not knowing a thing about it, I take Northern Michigan right away. It's a Michigan team,
Well,
Michigan boy. 2, Chicago, soft. Dock cider shoes, white pants after August. Okay,
you
that's the Chicago.
realize that we play in the city of Chicago. We're 2 blocks from the United Center where the Blackhawks play. That's where we're at. So
I
it's a
don't care.
different.
You've
I
got
wouldn't
it.
say it's a different demographic. It's still
Okay,
hockey,
tell
but
tell people the full story. You have a guarded, locked underneath the rink parking lot. You pull up and the button opens the door. You rush in. You shut the door behind you, and then you're in your own secure little world. Nobody else can get in there. So don't make it sound like you're walking through the hood with your bag over your shoulder, trying to fight through the homeless to get there and watching the people shoot people. No, you're pulling up with your little
why
Range
do you
Rovers.
think? Why do you think we have a garage set up that way so we can get back into our cars and leave afterwards?
Absolutely, but it doesn't make you tough. It just means your Range Rover can pull into a
No,
place and park.
you have no idea what you're talking about. But go ahead.
I've been there. I know that
You've
rink.
been there in the daylight.
Okay,
But
you're
hey, I
right.
will say this: back to the Chicago versus Northern Michigan. We played Traverse City earlier this year. Do you know what the score was with our 18s?
I have no idea, but it's Traverse City. You can't get more Chicago-y than Traverse City. They
Oh,
wear the
okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
They were docksiders up there in Traverse City too. That's not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
you
they're
you go
launching a
across
boat
the
though.
bridge, then it's a different little lifestyle.
That's true. All right, I'll give you that.
Not that I have anything against Traverse City, you know. And going back to your rink real quick, one of the best things about your rink was walking out and looking across the edge. There's a big window where you can look outside from your rink at the top level in the stands. So I was standing up there. I was over by the bathroom, and I'm looking out, and across the street, there's like a whole village of tents. It's like just a whole homeless village of tents. I'm like, okay, a little different here. You know, this is that's not hockey families staying over there and camping out while their kids are at a main camp here or at a pre-draft camp. That's the real thing. So that was pretty interesting. It was 20 feet off the other side of the road. So yeah, interesting neighborhood you play in there.
Yes.
All right,
Our
hey folks.
demographic is different though. We got private jets and different things like that going on, but where our physical location is a little dicey.
Prediction on the score between you and Matt Maxfield's team. Just lay it out there.
I'm gonna go 8-0 us winning.
Ooh, I got to go against that.
I didn't even know we were playing each other, so I got to get more prepared here.
I'm giving it a 6-1 them. 6-1. Not knowing anything about either team. just going off of what I want to see happen. All right. Hey, listen, everybody. Thanks so much for joining in tonight, Junior Hockey Advisor. We do this once a week, normally on Wednesday nights. Please jump on, go over, put some comments on the Facebook page if you want. Follow the discussions, get involved in the discussion, start a new discussion. And also, if you get a chance to go over to Junior Hockey Advisor on YouTube, we are now in that closing few people. We need subscribers. Please, folks, if your grandma doesn't have an account, open an account for your grandma. Okay, get her on Junior Hockey Advisor. If your deceased relatives,
that's
Chicago
your demographic.
Yeah,
that's
Chicago.
Your demographic.
Just like you guys do with all your voters there. Go, all you people in Chicago. Resurrect some of your relatives and your friends, especially if you're in politics. Put them all on YouTube and have them subscribe to our YouTube page. That'd be really good. Junior Hockey Advisor there. Hey, everybody, thanks so much. Have a great night. Bloomer, thanks for jumping on. I know you're real busy today, and I appreciate you jumping on, man.
Yep, of course. Good luck to everyone playing out there this weekend.